So we're discussing the recent transfer window, what's closed on Monday at 7 o'clock about Wolves. And how would you sum it up then, Jacko?
Not too bad, to be fair. But I've just noted down. So I think we've had six players in total since we've gone through the transfer window. Fer Lopez, Ladislav Krejcik, John Arias, Jackson Chichoa, David Wolf, and Talua Arokadal. If I, sorry, Arokador, if I pronounced that correctly. And yeah,
Arakadare, apparently.
Alright, yeah. So look. To be fair, look decent players. I think the couple that have stood out to me so far is Fer Lopez, Jackson Chichoa, and yeah, David Wolf don't seem to be too bad either. What do you reckon, Courtney? I mean, do you think it's been a good or bad?
To me, it's
Medium?
major disappointing.
Major disappointing.
Major disappointing. One of the worst we've had since Bolson took over.
Yeah,
So outgoings, we sold 129.7 million. Well, Mateus Cunha, Man United,
yeah,
62 and a half.
yeah,
Eight Nori, 36.3. Fabio Silva, 23. Guedes, 5, which is a big loss.
yeah,
Tom King, undisclosed, went to Everton. Semedo, Bosman, on
yeah,
free. Sarabia, Bosman, free. Dawson, released. Forbes, he was on loan. Tommy Doyle, loan to Birmingham. Boubacar Traore, loan in France. Nasser Giga, loaned out to Rangers. Chiquino, sold for 2.9 million. Joe Hodge, gone on a Bosman. Bastian Mpoyu, loan, undisclosed. Chem Campbell, on a Bosman. Kalajic, out on a loan. Pedro Lima, loaned out. Okay. Yeah, but there's a lot of things to consider as well. Many things to consider because um, of the players we've bought Arukadare and Jackson Chachua. Uh, Arukadare is from Nigeria, Chachua is from Cameroon. So that means we've got Marshall Manetzi, these are African players, Emmanuel Agbadu. So Manetzi, Zimbabwe, Agbadu, Ivory Coast, Arukadare, Nigeria, uh, Chachua, Cameroon, and Tawanda Chirewa, who doesn't play very often, but you might do in cups, is Zimbabwe. But so the African Nations Trophy starts December, doesn't it? So we're going to be without some of those players for up to 3 to 4 weeks, if depending how far the teams go in
if
the
called
cup.
up, yeah, if called up,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
So did we plan for that? Did the chairman plan for that?
But you
That
know
is a
what?
question, though, isn't it?
And based on how our pre-season's been, and up until the last few games, you'd have to say that we could potentially, if we don't pick up points during that period up until the December, we could potentially be in the relegation zone again.
Again,
Yeah,
yeah.
uh, you
But
know,
well, ever since Nuno left, it's it's been like that. So yeah, Folsom have clearly changed their policy. They're not
I have, yeah,
interested
yeah,
in
yeah,
strengthening the team and
yeah,
progressing. Are they? They're just looking just to keep the wolf from the door, so to speak, just
yeah,
to keep enough to keep us
yeah.
afloat.
You know,
Um,
it's interesting you saying that actually, Courtney, because I mean we're going about Nuno, and many fans going about Nuno, and there's always that there's always that sign at the moment. Should you get back to your ex? But do you think we should consider
well,
Nuno back?
it's not an option at the moment because, uh, as it seems that I know the manager is not going to be happy deep down inside, but publicly he's saying the right thing though. But how much of it does he mean? But because he was saying publicly that he wanted more players and he was confident of getting them, wasn't he? But he didn't. But we now left desperate because the only other options we've got is looking for players who are out of contract. And no disrespect to them, but if they were any good, they wouldn't be out of contract somewhere, would they? People like Dele Alli, Chamberlain, and others. You know,
Mm,
they're being mentioned. But if they were still, if
mhm.
they were better than has-beens, they'd be still playing for teams in the Premier or some other top league, wouldn't they? You know what I mean?
Yeah, they would, absolutely. It's, I suppose it's just like some of the other the other players that have chosen to go to bigger clubs. They haven't shown walls or anything like that, but that's just goes to show. I mean that Posen are a buying and selling. Like if they do good, then they can get they'll get more of the sell of the players, more money of the players, should I say, towards the end
Yeah.
of the season. And unfortunately, that's the way it's gone. And we've lost a lot of really good players. A lot of them who, could have flourished under the Nuno era. And since they've gone, including that of Nuno, we've we've not got any better at all. But
No, we've gone progressively worse, haven't
we
we?
got progressively worse. But I mean, when Fer Lopez came on the other day, along with Rodrigo Gomez, and I just thought they set the pitch alight, and I just don't understand
Well,
why.
we're not being wise after the event, but haven't we said in our pre-match previews that every time starting 11 we've put down Fer Lopez to start instead of
Yes,
Manetti, haven't we?
yeah, yeah,
It's
yeah,
ain't been wise after the event.
yeah,
Any of you viewers who've been watching them, you can vouch for us that we've always
yeah,
been
yeah,
consistently calling for Fer Lopez
yeah,
to start.
yeah,
And when he did come on,
yeah,
you know, everybody's saying he's done fantastic, but
yeah,
that's not
yeah.
surprising.
Well,
He's done fantastic
it
wherever he's
does,
been on the
and that's
pitch.
what.
He should have been started.
Yeah,
Should have
yeah,
been
exactly.
started.
But I know that like looking through other social media platforms, other fans are saying it too. But the one person that counts, the manager, is not doing it, and I don't
Yeah.
understand. I know you mentioned Menezes, many other fans have mentioned Menezes too. He doesn't do much. Bellegarde doesn't do much.
Well, didn't do enough.
Mm,
Manetti, he's been. I know he works his socks off. He put in an assist for the first goal on Saturday,
yeah,
but he's been consistently this season caught offside, and I
yes,
think that Fer
yeah,
Lopez is a better ball carrier and he's got
yeah,
a greater work rate. And being only is it 20, 21ish, that he'd
21,
have
yeah,
a
yeah,
great engine, wouldn't he?
yeah,
You
yeah.
expect him to keep running all
For me,
90, 100 minutes,
yeah.
wouldn't you?
For
Yeah.
me, the only disappointment at the moment is Arias. He's the only disappointment at the moment. He just,
Well, you say that. I think Mora Wolf, he's got to get up to the pace of English football because
yeah, yeah,
when Hugo Lopez Bueno, when
yeah,
he's come on, he's looked miles better, hasn't he,
yeah, yeah,
than
yeah.
Wolf?
He has, yeah, he
But,
has.
but
Uh,
Wolf is a good player. Don't
yeah,
get me wrong,
yeah,
and I'm sure he will in time to come.
yeah,
Do fantastic, but
yeah,
just not yet.
yeah.
I think Hugo Bueno has been
Mhm.
head and shoulders the best left back, isn't he?
He has. The only problem with Hugo Bueno, I don't. He doesn't seem to. Him and Totti Gomez, I don't think we're that great together. They're not on the same wavelength every time they play. As soon as the Hugo Bueno goes forward, he's fantastic. He's got a bit of trickery, not as good as Aït-Nouri, but he's still
Yeah.
got a bit of trickery.
Yeah.
He's got a lot of pace,
But
and he
but
can absolutely whip the ball in. Whereas Wolf, he seemed to click a bit more with Totti Gomez, but when he went forward, he seemed to struggle with the ball somewhat. Do you
yeah,
know?
well, Nor is a
Would
pretty
you?
difficult act to follow, isn't he?
Yeah, yeah,
And he worked very well with Totti. They
yeah,
used to get each other out of trouble,
yeah.
but they haven't had that. Hugo Bueno hasn't got that working footballing relationship with him yet, and that's
No,
why
I agree. Yeah.
getting the players in some of the transfers so late hasn't got the time. They haven't had the time to blend, have they?
No,
They're going to have
no.
to hit the ground running, aren't
Yeah,
they?
yeah, yeah,
Like
yeah,
Chachua and Arukadare.
yeah,
They've come in very late, haven't they?
yeah, yeah,
Because ideally you wanted them blending or blended before the start of the season. So when the season
Yeah.
started, they'd be playing together as a unit.
Yeah.
But that hasn't been the case, and it won't be for a while because
Mhm.
Arakadare says that he hasn't played more than 30 minutes this season, and he won't
Yeah.
be match fit for a bit yet. I know he's going off to international duty
Yeah.
now
Yeah.
for Nigeria to stop that he doesn't pick up any injuries or any of the others.
So it's
Well,
interesting that you say at the start that you think it's been an extremely poor transfer window again. I don't think there's been actually many really, has there, that have been real
mm.
good. I mean,
Well, we had
Jeffrey
we've had a
Stacy,
couple. Well, the other January where we brought in like who was it? João Gomez and
yeah,
Dawson
yeah,
and Lamina and yeah, they got us out of the mire. They did.
yeah,
So,
they
so
did.
to speak. But it's ever
Lamina's,
since Nuno, we've consistently
yeah,
uh, weakened the team, though, haven't we? We haven't
yeah,
replaced like for like, have we?
yeah.
With but
Would
having
you
said that,
blame?
Arias on paper is excellent, and apparently this season is in the top. He's in fifth place of the amount of tackles made.
Yeah,
Yeah, just 4 players ahead of him in the
yeah, yeah,
Premier
yeah.
this season.
So
So
with that, you're saying about the transfer window as it's been again, or well, not more, been poor. Would you blame it on Fosun, or would you blame it on the FFP rules?
well, we were out of the FFP rules from last season, and if you look at the net spend against the purchases, we're still like made a profit.
Mm.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
So
yeah, yeah, yeah,
and the players, the list, what the manager wanted,
yeah.
we haven't brought those in. Like we
Mm.
wanted an extra midfielder, another striker, didn't we?
Yeah, yeah,
You
yeah,
know,
yeah, yeah. We did. Yeah.
yeah.
I mean,
But because if because the two Brazilian midfielders, they're always playing on the edge. They like to tackle, don't they? Andre and João Gomez.
yeah, yeah.
So they're never far away from a suspension, aren't they? Are they? You know what I mean?
You know
What
what?
if
That
they're
that is very, very, very true. I remember putting a comment on Twitter about that Joe Gomez, for all the good he is in midfield, but he's one of the ones that gives away so many free kicks in our danger areas, and I absolutely got slated for that from my own fans when I put it on social
But
media. Really,
that's the player he is, though, isn't it? Because
it is.
that's
Yeah,
why other
it
clubs
is.
wanted him. That's
Yeah,
why he's in the Brazilian team
yeah,
because he gets it right more often than not,
yeah,
isn't it?
yeah, yeah,
So
yeah, yeah. He does.
yeah, so I wouldn't want to take that away from him.
No, no, absolutely not. I think he's been a real good player. I don't think he's captain material if he was ever to put him in that way. But from what I gather, there's 5 players at the moment that are in that category for captaincy. Joa being one of them,
Yeah,
but at the moment it's being given to Totti Gomez. And
but
but
there was a bit of confusion, weren't there, before the
yeah,
first match because they
yeah,
said because it was Totti who was captain the pre-season friendlies, and then they said it was João Gomez,
yeah,
and then
yeah.
in the first match against Man City, it was Totti again.
It was Totti
So
again.
there,
Yeah.
we got mixed messages, didn't we?
But we did get mixed messages, but is that it's being spelt out to the players as well? Are they getting mixed
Yeah,
messages? Do you know what I mean? Because
yeah.
we were some fans are saying that we were in it for the first 15 minutes. I don't think we were.
Against who? Which one's it?
Man
Sorry.
City. I still think Man
Well, I
City
think
were
we
all
were
over us.
for more than that, for more than 15 minutes, for half an hour. Because even in that time, we had one disallowed, and
Mm.
we had a couple of chances. Yeah, we were. Yeah, we gave as good as we got for the first half an hour or so. I felt
I think.
from my stage in
Yeah,
Stan Cully's
that's
upper.
interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah. I just thought
Mhm.
we were poor throughout.
No,
Literally,
no, I think for the first just almost to 40 until it was 1-0.
yeah,
It was even Steven,
yeah,
and
yeah,
foolishly I was optimistic. I was hopeful. And then I
yeah,
say optimistic's a bit strong, but I was hopeful
yeah, yeah,
up
yeah.
to about 1-0. And even when it was 2-0 off early in the second half, Larson had a great chance where he stuck it wide,
Yeah.
so
Yeah, yeah.
a 5 foot
I
down.
mean,
So
you
it's
can
fine
literally,
margins in it. fine
looking
margins.
yeah, looking at some of the YouTube with the new striker Toulouse, it looks promising. You not think?
He does.
Yeah,
6'6" as well.
yeah,
Because
yeah,
a lot of people at 6'6" are often gangling and clumsy and awkward, but he looks an athlete,
yeah.
though,
He
doesn't
does.
he?
Yeah, yeah.
You know,
Looks
six foot
solid,
six, because he
and
looks quite decent on the ground. Most of his
he
goals,
does.
what we've
He
seen,
does.
are on
Yeah.
with his feet.
But what reminded me, it reminded me a bit of Jackson Chichoa because he looks because he's over 6 foot as well, isn't he? Chichoa.
I think he's 6'1".
Yeah, and
I
but
think.
he's extremely. He's built. We all know he's fast, but he's built as well with it. And I
Yeah,
just thought, okay, that kind of reminds me of Toulouse and Jackson. It kind of reminds me of each other. They're both big, solid players,
yeah,
and he got a bit of pace on him. Toulouse had got a bit of pace,
yeah, yeah,
and as we
yeah.
know, Pereira he wants tall, fast players, and that's what we got at the
Yeah.
moment. Other
And
than
that's why it was disappointing to concede a header on
yeah.
Saturday.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah. I mean, I don't know. For me, I've gone on about Totti Gomez and Hugo Bueno. Don't seem to link up and got on the same wavelength. But unfortunately, at the moment, I don't know about what you reckon, but what do you reckon about like Agabado and Gomez as well? They don't seem to be linking up for these. They were poor pre-season, but they seem to be
But
poor at the
if
moment.
you look at a lot of the goals, some of the goals against Everton, and most of the goals this season, I don't like to apportion blame, but they've been culpable, haven't they? Them pair,
Yeah.
especially how to do.
I just
But the thing is, and Santi Bueno, he had I've always not felt safe when he's played, but he's been solid, and but
yeah,
the new guy, Ladislav Krejci,
yeah.
he's a centre half as well, and
Yeah, yeah,
can slot into midfield, which might be handy because
yeah, yeah,
Vanetti is one of those that's going to go to the African nation, AFCON.
yeah,
Uh,
yeah,
and if anything happens, like suspensions or injuries to
yeah, yeah,
any Brazilian duo or Bellegarde, then he'll have to be the man to go in midfield, assuming we don't get any of the others
and exactly, and that's what's
on
concerning me,
loan
isn't it?
or the free agents.
Yeah, if say for instance, these new players do come in, they hit it off, and we start to get points, go up the league, and then all of a sudden the bookings start coming in, suspensions start coming in, and then international duty, we could be back to square one by the new year.
Yeah. Well, yeah, because being Wolves and we fear the worst, though, don't we?
We do, we do,
And
we
we're
do.
the only team in the league that hasn't got a point yet. I know Villa have got one,
Yeah,
but we've scored goals, but
yeah,
even Villa ain't scored
yeah.
goals. But the table is not a pretty sight at the moment. And
No,
the next game, you can't see us getting anything there because it's away at Newcastle.
yeah, yeah. Although I
You
must
know what I
admit,
mean?
yeah, it's a
I
game I
could be
wouldn't
wrong.
mind.
They've just signed Vissa as well, haven't they? As well as
Yeah,
Nick Woltermaid,
yeah,
the German.
yeah.
So yeah, it's going to be tough. I don't.
Very
Yeah,
tough.
yeah.
Very
But
tough.
we've gone there and won before,
Yeah,
like in Nuno's days, and
yeah,
when Steve Bull scored all four. Was it New Year's Day 1990?
yeah,
Yeah, but we've gone there and won before. But in
yeah,
recent seasons, you know, we've been well. Last season, especially,
yeah,
we were given a good spanking when he scored two. Alexander Isak. I know he's not there now, but he got two, didn't he?
yeah, yeah,
And it
yeah,
was I
yeah,
think Doc might have scored there away. But,
yeah.
not a very good night
Well,
for
Doctor,
us.
he's gone off the boil as well at the moment. Do you know what I mean? But I just, like us Wolves fans, we're all hoping that the new signings are going to hit it off and we're going to get somewhere. But
Yeah,
even though I'm quite impressed by looking at some of them by YouTube and what have you, and I'm optimistic. Let's give them a chance.
yeah.
But it's
But
just that,
Fer Lopez has got to start,
yeah,
and
yeah,
Rodrigo Gomez and Hugo Bueno.
yeah. Why isn't he? You've got to ask. We're not all managers, but a top manager allegedly Pereira, but he's not paying them. Like and
I
as
think myself, because we don't know what's going on. We've just heard that Andre was at training right, but it was a big mistake not playing him at Bournemouth.
Yeah.
But having
Yeah.
said that, look how Bournemouth they went
Yeah.
to Tottenham and they won 1-0. And if you
Yeah.
look at the stats, they had about 19 shots. They
Yeah.
dominated that match. So
Yeah.
they went to Tottenham
Yeah.
and won, and Tottenham, who in turn went to
Mhm.
Man City
Yeah.
and won 2-0, and it could have been more.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
the Premier, apart from Liverpool, most teams have looked vulnerable at times, haven't
Yeah.
they? So,
Yeah. Yeah.
you know,
Yeah, I just think Wolves are looking a lot more vulnerable now. Hence the reason why we're bottom of the league. And you know, if these new signings prove a flop, I mean, Chicho certainly hasn't, and Lopez certainly hasn't proved a flop. Let's hope and the other four don't prove that, else we are going to be fighting relegation, unfortunately, because the last few games have just not given me any confidence at all. You know, it's going to be so hard. It really is.
yeah. But if you want to be optimistic, in 2 games we scored 5, didn't we? I know the problems have been shipping them at the other end,
yeah,
but we
yeah,
scored 3 against
yeah,
West Ham and we
yeah,
scored 2 against Everton.
yeah.
And arguably, Rodrigo Gomez might have got a late equaliser on
Uh,
Saturday, but his shot
yeah,
went
yeah,
just wide. His
yeah,
left foot shot.
yeah.
So,
You
and
know
with
what?
their
I
goals,
saw
Everton were
that.
mistakes from us.
I saw that on YouTube later on in the evening, and again we go on about Fur Lopez on. You know, that's one where we didn't get right, but he's not pulling him in, but he's also not pulling Rodrigo Gomez in either. And like you quite rightly say, he nearly got that. And
Where would you play him? Midfield, up front, or where? Because you'd say Chachua, you'd with his pace and being a fullback, you'd play him at fullback. Where would you play Rodrigo Gomez?
you're gonna laugh. I would actually play him as up front,
You'd
or
play him as a
or on the
right
left
attack.
and
So
drop Arias.
what formation would you use then?
I'd still go for the 3-4-3 if that's if that is right. Do you know what I mean? But
Yeah.
I'd either play him up front or on the left hand side and drop Arias.
Oh, spending all that money on Arias, I doubt that's going to happen.
Nah, of course
Yeah, I
not.
doubt. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. You know, yeah, of course not. He's just I don't know. He's not. He's not proving himself at the moment. But then again, I say, you know, most of them aren't proving themselves, are they?
Yeah,
The
but if you look at Mateus Cunha, he didn't settle in straight away.
no, he
People were
didn't.
wondering about him, weren't they?
Yeah, yeah,
They were wondering about Mateus Cunha
yeah,
for a while. It took him a good season or so to become the player that we became used to.
yeah, yeah.
So yeah,
And you'd have to wonder, wouldn't you?
yeah,
You
because
know, like
yeah, go on.
with players that are coming over and playing for us, and you know, it's a change. It's a big change for them, isn't it? Do you
Yeah,
know what I mean? And that could impact them. And when things are just not going right, they're not going to go right, and they'll feel poor. And you know, if some of them might not even have family over here, but they're battling.
yeah,
So you got to feel for them. It's just that you know the only real drop, and I suppose the real player that I think most Wolves fans, if not all Wolves fans, are against is Matheus Nunes. You know, he was
yeah.
just real bad, and nobody.
Well,
You know,
he went on strike. He thought he was the biggest,
yeah,
bigger than the club. He
yeah,
says, "I'm not playing for you
yeah,
unless I get my move."
yeah,
What did he expect when
yeah,
it comes to Molineux?
yeah,
You know
yeah.
that would wind any fans from any club up.
It
That
would,
would,
wouldn't
wouldn't
it?
it?
It would. It would. But I suppose as a whole, at least Fosun, you know, like it's not been the most fantastic transfer window, but at least Fosun have surely answered some of the critics. We've got 6 players in. Yeah, there's a lot gone out, but at least we've got some in. Do you not think it's now over to where Pereira's saying, hold on, we've got some players in. Let's see what you can do.
Yeah. What thing is, if you look at his history, how often he's changed his clubs, and how he didn't appear to get what he wanted in the transfer window, and how the team are languishing bottom. You just hope that he doesn't do one, doesn't turn and walk away. Because like I
Yeah,
say,
yeah.
if you look at his history, he doesn't seem to stick around very
No,
long anywhere,
no.
though, does he?
No, no.
Yeah.
Yeah. I reckon if we're still in the same position come mid-October, I think he'll go. And potentially he might be
I don't
sacked
know if he'll
anyway.
go as soon as that. I don't know. I don't know if he'll go as soon as that.
You know.
Yeah, because if we start picking up points, I think he'll probably might stay till the end of the year.
No,
But
that's what,
hopefully, then
yeah,
because he's probably gagging for his
yeah,
points.
yeah. And he certainly likes them
Yeah,
in Wolverhampton, that's for sure, doesn't he?
yeah,
No,
yeah.
I'm thinking if we're
Mm,
like almost in the same position, like in the relegation zone,
yeah.
if we're I don't know, say mid-table, maybe a bit lower, then yeah, I do believe he will stop. But if we're almost in the same position in the relegation zone, I think he'll in mid-October. I either think he'll be sacked or he'll walk.
Well, the thing is, like, it's one thing sacking him, but not many people are going to want this job, though, working for
No,
Folsom,
no, they're
though,
not.
are they?
They're not.
So,
They're not.
it wouldn't be a very smart move
No. But
to
then
to
again,
to, to sack him. I say
are the
they're not
board
going to.
smart? Are they smart? We are where we are. When Folsom first bought our club, they wanted everything. They wanted us to become as big as Man City and, getting to the
They said
Champions
we were
League.
going to be bigger than Man City,
Yeah, bigger than Man City. We're now
and
probably
then
what?
they changed. They tuned it. And they say
Yeah,
if it's silverware in European football, you've picked the wrong team.
yeah,
So they've
yeah,
been a major climb down, didn't they?
yeah. I just, they're, God, what can you say?
What would you what would you say is the weakest area of our team for opponents to exploit?
Oh, that's a big question. I would say, and you'll probably disagree with this, but I would say probably Darwin, the right flat. Hover and Doherty, when they were in the team, they was the weakest link.
Well, at the moment, I think that it's the distribution of the ball by the centre halves, notably Agbadu and Totti, because a few of the goals this season, well, a couple of them against Man City and possibly one against Everton, have been sloppy balls, being straight to the opposition and
Yeah,
then
yeah.
carving us up. And
Okay.
the one against Bournemouth was when Bellegarde got caught in possession just
Yeah,
outside
yeah,
our own area, and that was the difference. Apart from Totti sending
yeah.
off, but it was only a 1-0 loss. Yeah,
I
so
suppose in
I
summary,
think
then
it's
the
probably the
defence.
individual mistakes, ball distribution by the centre halves,
Yeah, yeah,
getting
yeah,
intercepted by the opposition.
yeah. So
So
basically,
what about bright spots?
bright spots for me, and when they come on, is Fer Lopez, Hugo Bueno, albeit he had most of the game the other day. My favourite, Rodrigo Gomez. Definitely the two midfield Gomez's. Yeah, I think they're playing well, not well, fairly well at the moment. And Jackson Chichoa. There are you put them in the team, and we seem to be, we seem to do quite good. And let's be honest, when they did come on, yeah, even though I'm not his greatest of fan, but Strand Larson, he looks quite sharp when he come on. Hence the two goals. But they're the players when they come on, we literally flood the midfield, and we flood the opposition's defence. We were all good. We need to see that more. It got proven against West Ham, and
Okay,
it's.
so
How about yourself up there? What do you think our best players
yeah,
are at the moment?
I tend to agree with you when those guys like Fer Lopez,
Yeah,
Rodrigo Gomez, Hugo Lopez Bueno, and I'm hopeful about John Arias as well.
yeah,
I'm expecting him to get a few goals and start making a bigger, greater influence.
yeah, yeah, yeah. It looks
But
like
I'd say
Sassel
the
going,
next
doesn't it?
game is going to be tough. But Newcastle away.
Yeah,
But again, it's a free hit for us, though, isn't it? It's a free hit.
yeah. Might as well go. Might as well go for it. No holding back. Let's
Yeah,
do it. We can't get much more poor.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. So we'll wrap it up. So that was the window. That was, and we'll see if any uh, players out of contract anywhere are brought in. But thanks for listening. Give us your feedback. Press like and subscribe. It's good for the algorithm. So up the Wolves. Thank
Up
you.
the Wolves.